your CIGTV News update, feature stories, and weather forecasts, I'm Donna Bush. Glad you could join us. Students of the Lighthouse School kicked off the holiday season with caroling at the Government Administration Building on Thursday morning. Every year, the students and their teachers sing carols for staff and customers who visit the building. The students rehearsed for weeks to sing the Christmas favorites for everyone who stopped and listened. Oh my God, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Well, meantime, the customer care team at Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman recently hosted multiple hands-on registration sessions for key stakeholders. Representatives from various businesses and organizations such as KPMG, the Chamber of Commerce, Bureau, Maples, and Foster's were in attendance and were able to register and learn how to post job ads for their companies on the new online portal, JobsCayman. Approval of all registrations and postings take 1 to 3 days, after which time the ad becomes available for all registered job seekers to view. Businesses needing hands-on assistance with registering can call to book a scheduled appointment or may stop by the ground floor of the Apollo House West on Mary Street to use the available self-serve kiosks. Now, for information on what documents are needed to register, you can call 945-9672 or visit WORC.KY. In other news from work, over 100 civil servants are now trained in fraud prevention and detection. Organized by the Ministry of Employment and Border Control and the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure. The goal is to increase the capabilities within the ministries to detect, prevent, and manage potential situations of fraud and corruption, and to provide a better understanding of the systems of internal controls that should be in place to address those situations. The first training session for managers and department heads focused primarily on understanding risk and assessing an organization's exposure to risk. Taken part are civil service managers, head of departments, and staff involved in the areas of accounting, procurement, and asset management. The final 4 days of the training continues this week and is offered to civil servants every 5 years. Well, the Ministry of CPI has appointed Kristen Augustine as their Energy Policy Coordinator. In her role, Mrs. Augustine will assist the ministry in delivering mission-critical initiatives under the National Energy Policy. She will also monitor government's position on emerging trends in the energy sector and provide guidance to the Energy Policy Council and key stakeholders on the National Energy Policy and its priority goals. Minister of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, the Honourable Joseph Hugh, has welcomed Mrs. Augustine to the ministry while noting that her appointment underscores government's commitment to the national energy policy. Former John Gray High School student Mrs. Augustine holds a Master of Science degree in Spatial Planning from Oxford Brookes University and a Bachelor of Science in Management and Tourism from the University of Surrey in the United Kingdom. We say congratulations to Mrs. Augustine. Well, effective December 30th this year, pension refunds under the National Pensions Law will only be granted in cases where the member's account value is less than CI $5,000 under a revision made to the National Pensions Law. Refunds of accounts valued less than CI $5,000 will continue to be governed by the pension plan's rules and its administrator. Members with accounts valued at more than CI $5,000 who are wishing to apply for a refund before December 30th must satisfy all of the below requirements. The member's employment must be terminated. No pension contributions have been made in the last 2 years, and the member must cease to reside in the islands, which requires an absence of 6 months or more. Besides these requirements, members must also submit an application form by the 30th of December in order to qualify. Application forms can be obtained directly from pension plan administrators. The National Pensions Law applies to private sector workers only. Pensions for members of the civil service are governed by the Public Service Pensions Law. And now for a quick check on other community stories making Radio Cayman headlines tonight. The Cayman Arts Festival presents its latest edition of Music at the Library. Organizers tell Radio Cayman attendees will be in for a treat with performances featuring a blend of Christmas carols. The monthly one-hour concert at the Georgetown Library includes classical music, in addition to poetry and readings from local poets and writers. It happens at 6 p.m. tonight in the Old Georgetown Library. Tickets will be available at the door. And of course, you can check out Radio Cayman's website. That's radiocayman.gov.ky for more of their community news coverage. In today's Cayman Compass feature story, past meets present in the first solar exhibition by local artist Carlos Garcia. As you'll hear, the creative is best known for his mural work on island.
So for this exhibition, we're going to try not only just to have paintings, but have installations. So we're going to incorporate elements that actually you can find in any home in the island.
And the show's called Contrast?
Yes, I decided to call it contrast because for me it was like the perfect word to describe this. It's a contrast between colors and black and gray. Past, present, future. It's a mix of feelings that make a big contrast. Well, it's more like a feeling, and I think not only me have this type of feelings, but everybody. It doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter if it's in the island or you come from a different place in the world. We always have this feeling of have this contrast between what you have now and what you used to have, or what you used to see, or what you used to feel still. So it's basically this feeling that makes this contrast in life. It's like living the life in the future and the present, and still having in mind where you come from.
And you can go online to thecaymancompass.com for more stories. Turning now to today's weather forecast from the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. Moderate to fresh east to northeast winds and seas are expected to continue for the next 24 hours as a stationary cold front in the Gulf of Mexico increases the pressure gradient across the northwest Caribbean. Radar images show isolated showers are in and around the Cayman area, which are moving towards the west. Today's high temperature reached 86 degrees Fahrenheit with the forecast of partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of morning showers, which we saw earlier today. Winds are from the east-northeast 15 to 20 knots. Sea conditions are moderate to rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. Small craft should exercise caution out over open waters. And remember, you can go online to weather.gov.ky for the latest forecast, which can also be found on their Facebook page, as well as the radio dial channel 107.9 FM. Remember, they also have an app that you can download. That's CINWS. And that's the latest from us here at CIG Television. If you happen to have missed today's news update, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page as well as the CIG Television YouTube channel. I'm Donna Bush, thanking you for joining us, wishing you a safe and, of course, a wonderful night, and inviting you back here again tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye for now.
Department of Environmental Health provides residential garbage collection services to an estimated 14,000 Cayman Islands households each week. You may wonder how it is that our collectors are able to adequately cover these routes given our limited resources. The answer partly depends on you. By making sure that your garbage is appropriately packaged and easily accessible to our collectors, you will aid the pickup process and ensure efficient garbage collections. Here are a few valuable tips that will steer you in the right direction. Place bagged garbage into your garbage container on the evening before your scheduled pickup day. Bags should weigh less than 40 pounds and garbage containers should have a maximum capacity of 33 gallons. Our collectors will not collect garbage bags and bins that are too heavy. Only use garbage containers constructed from sturdy materials such as metal or plastic. Your garbage container must also have a tightly fitted cover and easy to grip handles. To avoid spillage and limit access to animals, we also recommend that you store garbage bins inside an enclosure. A single garbage enclosure should have minimum dimensions of 2 feet 6 inches by 2 feet 6 inches. All enclosures should be a minimum of 6 inches from the ground. Any enclosure that is higher than 3 feet tall must have a door. Our collectors are unable to collect the garbage if the enclosure is too high. Place garbage containers or enclosures at the front or side of the property in an area that is easily accessible to the collectors. Our collectors will not pick up any items that are outside the trash container. Please remember to return garbage containers to the enclosure or its original position as soon as possible after collection has taken place. Avoid placing the following items in your household garbage containers: construction and demolition debris, vegetative and household hazardous waste, bulk waste items, hot coals, and grease. You may bring these items to the Georgetown landfill, which is located at Seymour Drive and open from 7:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Monday to Saturdays. You can also take small quantities of garbage to the 24-hour drop-off site located at the entrance of the landfill. Always pour plenty of water on hot coals to make sure they are completely out before disposing of them inside the landfill. The DEH provides free curbside bulk waste pickup once per year. Bulk items may include old furniture and appliances, tires, and metal items. Place bulk items out on the curbside once the DEH has announced its annual bulk waste pickup schedule. You may, however, hire DEH to pick up your bulk waste throughout the year at a cost of $75 per load. When you follow these tips, you will help to maintain the efficiency of the DEH collections program. For more information on proper waste handling or to report uncollected garbage, please give us a call at 949-6696 or send an email to dehcustomerservice@gov.ky.
Boating, fishing, and water sports in the Cayman Islands are great, but keep a cool head. Here are 7 tips for fun and safe sea outings. Number 1. Use a checklist to plan your outing. Check the weather forecast, make a float plan, and share it with someone who is remaining on land, stating where you're going, with whom, and when you're expected to return. Visit your nearest marine supply store to get your safety gear. This includes signaling mirrors, whistles, and a flare kit. It's also very important to have onboard flotation devices and life vests for each person. There are different types of vests. Some are for water sport activities such as snorkeling, and others are for going on offshore boating or on fishing trips. Number 2. These items can be lifesavers in case of an accident or bad weather. Number 3. Use a motor kill switch, especially if you're boating alone. In case of a leak or breakdown, always stay with the boat until help arrives. If you capsize, an emergency beacon or locator device can send a distress signal to inform the authorities of your location. Larger flares will indicate distress to a boat, airplane, or search and rescue officials. Number 4. In addition to sunscreen, food, and beverages, it would be smart to have a cell phone. Make sure your marine radio works. Cayman's boaters use Channel 16 to communicate. Number 5. Also, don't forget your anchor and sufficient rope. Number 6. Boat operators should be familiar with the local waters and reefs, as well as the capabilities and functions of the vessels they are using. Always obey the rules of the sea and the marine environment, and have courtesy for others. Number 7. Alcohol and salt water do not mix, especially if you're the captain. Some useful contact numbers are 911. The RCIPS Marine Base is 649-7710, and the Port Authority is 949-2055. Smooth sailing, all!
I'm Jody Ann Powery. I'm the Police Media Officer with the RCIPS, and I'm here to give you some crime prevention tips on how to best protect your property. The first thing that we want to discuss is our points of entries. Let's start with the front door, and then we'll move on to the windows and the back doors or sliding glass doors. The first thing to consider is the front door. This particular front door has 2 deadbolt locks. One of these deadbolt locks are properly carpentered and the other is not. When your door is properly locked, you'll hear a click at the end and the deadbolts are not able to move. If it is slightly opened, then you can push the deadbolt back without having any restrictions. I'll now proceed to show you what your lock should look like when it is properly locked. When it comes to your windows, you want to make sure that your window is locked all the way down, because even though the lock is on, if it's not all the way down, it can still be pried. The proper way to lock the window is to make sure that the window goes all the way down to the seal and then you pull across the lock. When you have a sliding glass door at home, you want to make sure that you have secondary locking devices in addition to the lock that comes with the door. One of those can be a simple piece of wood that's jamming the doorway. We want to encourage you to ensure that you don't make things easy for burglars who are looking for opportunities to break into property by leaving your property out in plain view. Some of these items are your car keys, your electronics, and your handbags. Make sure that you put these properties away when you're leaving the house or when you're going to bed. When you're going camping or if you're taking your family on a trip, you want to ensure that your property has some sign of life. This can be done by leaving a light on or putting timers on your lights. And we want to ensure that our family homes are safe. In order to do so, we encourage that people take the proper precautions by starting up neighborhood watches or encouraging family members or persons they trust to check on their properties while they're away.